But yeah, you get a nice little offer, hopefully at the end of January for Cambridge, and then there's a bit of certainty, and there's a bit of, not certainty, you still have to meet the grades, but there is a bit of comfort in that. There's a good bit of comfort going into that, and it's a lot easier to work for something when you have a very specific goal in mind. And like, as I said before, the top courses here tend to have lower grade requirements than the top courses back home as well. And you're not dealing with like any of the lottery and stuff like that as well. So if you're willing to like to think about it and get that application in, which I really recommend you do, because I absolutely love it here, it will pay off. Like, it will pay off in the long run.
Hello everyone, welcome to Cambridge from the Inside. We're here with a returning guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Holly and I'm a first year lawyer.
Nice. And we're here to talk about applying to Cambridge from Ireland. So if there's anyone from Ireland who's watching and they're thinking of applying to university and they're thinking about maybe applying to Cambridge, we're going to go talk about everything about the application process and what life is like at Cambridge. So to start off at the beginning, how did you start thinking about applying to Cambridge? Like, how did the idea arise, etc.?
Well, I think I was just really drawn to the Cambridge system as a whole. Yeah. So like, you're being taught by like academics at the very top of their field, and you get to really engage with the content a lot more than you would in other universities, just purely because it's so intense. And so that really attracted me, because like I just like really love learning, and I love like really understanding and like getting different perspectives on things, as well as that the supervision system is just like, it's above anything else you're ever going to get. Like, you're a lot more than just a number to universities. Like, you are a person. Like, you're in supervisions of like 2 to 3 people in the case of law, and some of my friends have one-on-one supervisions. So like, you're in a system that really cares about you and cares about your learning, and is really like, they really just want you to thrive and to understand and learn and like love learning in the way that they do, and that just really attracted me.
Nice. So what would like normally be like the top universities in Ireland, and what would you say are like the differences between what you know about the universities in Ireland compared to how the teaching is in Cambridge?
Yeah, well, like, I have a lot of friends in Trinity College Dublin, and like I did a year there last year.
Oh, nice.
Actually, before coming here. So I probably have the best like understanding of the two. I think in Trinity, there's a lot more reliance on like the lectures and like just staying within those bounds. And because not here everything's 100% exam, whereas in Trinity it's like a mix between the exam and like assignments during the year, that you don't always like fully get to like learn the whole like concepts and content like fully and engage with it. Like, I'm doing one of my modules this year, is basically the same as what I did last year. And like, I'm learning so much more about it in like the same amount of time almost than I was last year, and I'm just engaging with that a lot more. And like, there's a lot more of an emphasis on like do I understand it, and help there to like help me along that journey and understanding. Whereas like, I really did enjoy my time. Like, I'm not gonna like throw that away, but like the learning here and the process around that is a lot more hands-on and like a lot more helpful. My learning was mainly just like a lot of lectures. Well, not a lot of lectures, still like almost similar contact hours. And then we had seminars of around 20 people, which was like a bit like the supervision system, but not in the same way. like you did feel a lot more that you were just a number there, and that like they're cycling through so many of these, and you could go into a seminar and not say a single thing and they like wouldn't really pull you up on that or anything. Whereas here, if you're like silent for a bit in a supervision, they will be like, oh, like, are you struggling with this here? Like, what do you make of this? So it's a lot more hands-on. I think it's a bit more structured as well in Cambridge, because back home, you're not everyone's living like together. There's a lot less, I don't know if this is a thing in the UK, but like people tend to be very like, you go to campus and then you go in your separate ways, and whereas here everyone's together and everyone's going through it together, and like I have a lot more interaction with people doing other courses and other degrees than, whereas last year it was a lot just people on my course or people that I knew before. And so here it's a bit nice because not everyone knows each other coming in, whereas like back home, because there's so few universities and it's such a small country, like people tend to go in with their own groups of friends already, when it's like nice as well here that kind of helps as well. You're all kind of going through it together, which is nice as well.
Oh, so much there. That's really, and it's really cool that you've experienced both Trinity College and what it's like in Cambridge. So am I right in thinking you're studying law now? You're also studying law last year?
Yeah, I did law and politics last year.
Okay,
yeah,
nice. And when you say that it's 100% exam, that's for the law course at Cambridge.
Yeah, Cambridge. Yeah.
Yeah, and on other courses it might not be 100% exam. Just as a disclaimer, I'd look into what specific course that you're thinking of applying to and how it's examined. And are you from Dublin?
No, I'm from the west coast of Ireland. I'm from the least populated county in Ireland. So like sometimes when I say to like people in Dublin, I'm like, oh, I'm from Leitrim. They're like, I've never met someone from Leitrim before. So it was a bit of a culture shock when I went over, but yeah.
And did it still feel like everyone knew each other? Did you know many people before?
I knew a good few people before because I went to school in Dublin for a little while.
Okay.
So I did know people going in, but like I did make friends when I was there as well. But it would have been a lot harder and like a bit more daunting, I think, if I didn't know anyone. And I kind of thought it would be a bit similar when I was coming here because I didn't know anyone coming in. But no, it was a really big relief. Like hardly anyone knew anyone else. And if they did, it was like they knew people in other colleges, but they didn't really see them. And I think certainly in Michaelmas, you tend to try and get comfortable and just stay within your college a lot more and get settled and make friends there. So people who did know people in other colleges, like they didn't just ignore everyone in like this college. Like you do make friends here and it's quite easy to do so. Like especially here, I think we're a very friendly college, which is really nice as well.
Yeah, nice. So one thing you were talking about, I think it's something with that happens in universities in general that don't have a collegial system is people kind of having their living in their accommodation and going into campus and then I guess going about their day and then going back. Just quite curious to know, how did your kind of lifestyle experiences differ last year compared to living in a college? And like, would I be right in thinking that in colleges you're surrounded by people who aren't just studying law?
Yeah, so last year, and I think like I can't speak for all colleges because I mean like all universities back home because like we have like there's different experiences depending on where you go, but there is a bit of an accommodation crisis in Ireland. So some people stay in student accommodation. Like I know certainly a good few of my friends in other universities do, and particularly in first year, but it is quite common to just live in a system called digs.
Yeah.
So you like basically live in a room in someone's house and like they all have varying rules. Like my cousin was in digs for a while. My cousin's friends was in digs for a while. And like he wasn't allowed in the kitchen when the family was in the kitchen and stuff. So it's just like it depends on, you can be quite lucky. So I was like living with my great aunt. So I wasn't in student accommodation, which is a bit, I did it purely just to save money. Like, but it's a bit different from my experiences, from my friends' experience in accommodation, and it's certainly different from my experience here. But I think it tends to be quite a norm that you will not live in student accommodation for the full 4 years of your degree back home. And it is quite common to not even go into student accommodation at any stage.
Including first year?
Yeah, including first year. It's because it is quite limited, like the number of people who don't live in Dublin or Galway or Cork or wherever else you're in university. Like it's quite substantial, and they just don't have the space for that. So it is quite common to just live out, or if you've got friends going with, try to find somewhere together. So here it's very, very different because I think you have to live in accommodation. I don't know if that's the same for every college, but
in college you could opt out of college accommodation. I'm not sure about first year, but it's definitely after first year in Cambridge you could live in private accommodation if you wanted to. You probably could also do that for first year as well. I think a lot of people just find it so much easier and nicer to live in college, but it's not uncommon for like a third year, in your third year, to decide to get a house. But I think most people would still stay in college.
Yeah, I think I'll probably stay in college, but I think like this is it's very different because like I'm in a room and the guy in the room beside me is doing theology, and you really interact with people that you wouldn't usually. Like most of my friends don't even really do law. Like I seem to have befriended the entire English cohort. But you have a lot more engagement with people on like other courses, which is nice as well because it gives you a bit of a break from your degree, because you're not like talking about, oh, did you do this? Like, did you do that? It's just a bit like you're real people, and like everyone's struggling. Everyone's got huge reading lists, and everyone's got like essays deadlines that they have to do, and this like same with like the STEM people, like they've got problem sheets and stuff that they need to get through. So it is kind of nice when you're like you're not traveling very, like here particularly it's really nice living in Central in first year because you're not traveling very far between, and like you're eating in hall together. Even if it's just 5 minutes, you catch someone in the kitchen. Like it is a good way of just like getting like social interaction in, and it's a good way of like building social interaction in the structure of the Cambridge degree in your daily lives as well. So that is very different because I go to college in the morning. Back home we call it college, not university, but so I go to university in the morning. I go to my lectures. I go to the library for a bit, hang out with friends. And then we'd all go home, like our separate ways. And it's just me at my house, like in the evening, which is nice in a way. But I definitely prefer just being like around people. And there's a lot more life here as well. So it's nice.
Nice. So for anyone who's watching and they don't know what a Cambridge college looks like, what it is, and they're unsure of like what the accommodation it looks like, can you explain like kind of structurally and like what a college is and where students are living, and how many, like is it just one college that all the students of Cambridge are part of, etc.?
Yeah, so Cambridge is split out into a number of colleges. So you've got the Central University that controls your degree and the exams, and like you do the same exams as everyone else, and go to the same lectures as everyone else in your course. But everything other than that really is controlled by your college. So you apply in a very weird way. You apply to a college rather than to the university. And so I think there's around 30.
Yeah, I think 29 undergraduate ones and then 31 in total.
Yeah, so it is a bit daunting because like that's very different, especially like I decided to apply at like quite a last minute, so I was like trying to take in all like 29 at one time. Like it just kind of just like comes to get to a stage where they all just like merge into one big courtyard and with a old architecture. So like, but every single college I think is different in a little bit of a, like I can't explain why, they're just different. So it's kind of like, especially like if you're like doing that research from Ireland, it's hard because it is it's like everything, all your resources are online and you don't tend to know someone who's there. So like I was lucky, I kind of shortlisted ones that I wanted based off of like general pictures that I got and what each offered. And then I contacted this guy through Irish to Oxbridge, and he just gave me advice on like what they were like in real life as well. So
nice.
that was really helpful. Like if you can kind of reach out through someone through there, it's good. But you basically essentially live in like your college provides accommodation. You get meals through your college. You have someone called a DOS or director of studies, and they're like in charge of your like I don't even know, like they're in charge of your degree almost,
like
your
academic
your
side.
academic side for the year, or sometimes for 3 years. Like mine's it changes every year, and they'll organize your supervisors, who will like do small classes for each of your papers. And like if you've got any struggles, like oh, I'm really not getting this, like I've gone to my supervisor, I'm just really not understanding this, like they'll help you on the academic side of things. And like we've like termly check-ins and things, and so it's nice. And there's also like a really nice, that every college I think tends to have a really nice community of people doing the course within. So like most colleges have a law society. So like we have a law society, which is really nice, and we like do stuff together, and it's good. And then there's also various sports, and so, like, that's another thing. There's also various sports that are like college only as well, which is nice because like a lot of the university stuff tends to be to very high level. Even in sports and like other societies, it can be a bit intense at times. So it's nice to come back to the college, which everything tends to be like chill. So like if you're like, we have a squash, like if we start up a squash team, I'm not in it, but there is a squash team, like one of my friends started it up, and you just compete against other colleges rather than building all the way up to competing against Oxford and varsity every year, or in like the British University Championships. It's a nice way of, it's just like a nice chill way of doing things. And like colleges, like we tend to have like a student bar or a student cafe and things, and just social spaces.
And a library as well.
So you get specific social spaces, and like a library as well, because like Cambridge is quite small, so you can kind of run out of like spaces if you want to study in a cafe. It's like very difficult to do that. And like I think so definitely coming into Easter term, the university libraries are going to get a lot busier as well. So it's nice to have a library that's like so close. And like you also see people in the library as well as like as well. So yeah, it's just it's a nice little system.
Yeah, it is. I guess it does kind of look like 29 mini campuses in one city. That's all a part of the university.
It gets a bit weird, like when you stop and think about it, but you just kind of accept it at a certain stage.
Yeah, there's probably a lot about Cambridge you could say about that. And one thing about the libraries and short study spaces, every department also has a library which is open to students from any courses. So there are multiple study spaces in college and in other departments and the university library. And I was also wondering, so what was it that made you apply to Cambridge and leave Trinity College Dublin?
So I applied to Cambridge before I even started at Trinity.
Okay.
So I didn't really like enjoy my secondary school experience, and so I was a bit scared that university would be quite similar. And Cambridge had always been something that was like on my radar, but I kind of thought it was a bit too late for me to apply at that stage. But like when I did my leaving cert, so it was like my A levels, like the summer after that, I was like thinking, and my mum said to me like, oh, I think you could do it, like I think you should apply. So I basically, I didn't have really anything else on, so I said, you know what, I have nothing to lose, really. Like I have a college place, well, hopefully, because we find out at the end of August. It's very like whether we can go or not. Like you find out your course and everything and you start university in 2 weeks.
Oh right.
So you get your university offer at the end of August and then start 2 weeks later. So you're kind of in a period of limbo. Whereas like if you have like a UCAS offer, you know that quite early, so it's a bit of contrast. But so I was kind of in a bit of a limbo, and so I was like, I'll just apply, I'll just do it. So I went through the application process, and then started at Trinity, and I loved it. And then I got my Cambridge offer, and like I did kind of grapple with it for a bit, but it was a bit too much of an opportunity to pass up, and it was like something that I had thought about for a while. So yeah, I kind of was quite intent on it once I got the offer. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that was really cool. And so I'm just trying to. So I didn't study Ireland, so I'm not sure about the timelines. Did you take a year out, or not a year out? I guess because you're studying.
Yeah.
You're Trinity College Dublin. So how does the application process work if you're applying for universities in Ireland, and how does that correspond with the timeline if you're applying for universities in the UK?
Yeah, so the universities in Ireland, your spots are purely based off of what you get in the Leaving Cert. So every grade, you do a minimum of 6 subjects. So every grade, and like it's capped at 6, but every grade you get is assigned a number of points. And so they take your top 6 grades, and so that works out to be your points. And then it's kind of done on a demand supply system. So you'll fill out a form first in January, and then you can change it to the end of July. And you'll fill that out, and then you'll fill 10 spots. And you rank them. So like, this is my first choice, second choice, whatever. And so they essentially put that all through a thing. So the people with the highest points who apply for a specific course will get it, and they'll be put in a list, and they'll just work their way down. And they're like, we have 25 spaces. So we take the top 25 applicants, and it's cut. And so if you don't get that, then it works down to the second. If you don't get, you just kind of, it's a whole demand supply system, and it's quite complicated, but you just wait for an email to come through, really. So the whole point is basically just try and do as best you can in the Leaving Cert. So like that was like my thing. Like I got enough in my mocks to have gotten my course, but you don't know if, like, they'll publish the points for the year before, like the cutoff mark, but that can jump up like 30 points the next year, or it could jump down 50 points, and you just have no way of knowing that. So like you have to kind of, you don't really get a safety net in that. So that's a bit different to the way the UCAS works. So UCAS,
am I right in thinking, so you do your mocks, and then depending on how you do in your mocks, you might get an offer, and you have to wait until you get your results to see if you've met the offer and got enough points.
No, so that would be probably a lot better. You get your Leaving Cert results at the middle to end of August. The next week you'll get an offer. Based off of like your actual Leaving Cert results. So your mocks can give you a good indication of where you're going. So if you do absolutely really badly in your mocks, you'll change your courses a bit to get something more feasible. You're like, well, I'm obviously not going to get this max points course, maybe. Like I don't think that's on my radar. So you'll maybe do some lower points courses so that you have a chance of getting a university place. So it's
and how many courses are you allowed to apply for?
You're allowed to apply for a maximum of 10 university courses, but we have you can apply for 10 more. It's called a level 7 degree, which is like just below a BA. So you can apply for them. So it's just like 10 ranked list. You sit your Leaving Cert, you've got the summer, you still don't know where you're going. You have to, then you get your Leaving Cert results end of August. Though about a week or two later, you get your CAO results, it's called. So you have UCAS, we call it the CAO. And they'll just be like, you have an offer for this course. And it's purely just based off of Leaving Cert. You don't fill out any application in the same way that you do. They don't know anything about you as a person. They just know your Leaving Cert results, and that's it. And then you start college around a week or two after you get your results.
Wow.
It's a really, really quick turnaround.
Yeah, it's very meritocratic. Okay, and can you quickly explain what the UCAS process is like?
Yeah, so UCAS is very different. So a lot of my friends didn't really think about CAO until they actually had to fill it out. So you're like looking at maybe January. You still have a chance of changing it until July. It's like very, people kind of flip-flop in between, and you kind of end up with a bit of like, people don't really know or really look into what they're going into. They just kind of look at like the bullet points that the university compiles of the course and say, okay, I could like that. And so you get a lot of switching and dropping out because people go into something and they didn't realize it. UCAS is very, very different. UCAS, you get 5 max courses that you can apply for, and you have to start thinking about it and really looking into it a lot earlier. So you have to, so if you're applying to Oxbridge, you have to have your UCAS application in October. And so that involves a personal statement, predicted grades, a teacher's reference, and some of the courses, particularly in Cambridge, have exams, like a admissions test that you have to do. So like for law, I had to do the LNAT, and it's used to get all of that in October. So you have to start thinking about it a lot earlier, particularly with the personal statement. I know they've changed it, but I think there's still a level of preparation that you have to start like thinking about and looking into, because the personal statement, actually I'll just explain what that is, because we don't have like comparative. A personal statement, I think they've changed it to 3 boxes since 3 questions since I've done it. But it's basically just you're just trying to display your interest and your passion for the course and why you want to do it, and like why you would be a good candidate, I think, through those interests. It's probably the best way of describing it. And so I'm not, what are the boxes that they've changed them to for me?
We have done podcasts on those personal statements that I did, so I really should be able to answer this question.
Just if you link them in the caption.
I can put a podcast. You can put those personal statements podcasts links in the caption. Before it was one personal statement, kind of where you'd write to showcase why you want to study the course, and you're still doing that, but they've provided these 3 questions to help structure your responses and kind of not be, I think some applicants might have felt quite lost with a blank page and not know what to write. And as you said, we can put a link to a caption to those podcasts, and we've done podcasts on, I think, every step of the admissions process. If you are wanting to seek advice on personal statement, admissions assessments, interviews, and like the Cambridge application process in general.
Yeah, because it's like in Ireland we don't really have any resources or anything on it. So like a lot of my resources just came from online or like through speaking to current students on Irish to Oxbridge. So it's probably the best way of doing it. Another thing I will say that's very Irish centric is that when you get your teacher to do your teacher's reference, there's a tendency, I don't know if it's a British thing, but it's an Irish thing to kind of be like, oh no, like don't like trying, you need to get them to like hype you up, like and like make you out, and like even with like predicted grades, like there is a level of conversation there, especially even for the personal statement, and as well you just have to really just give in and just accept it, and just like as other teachers as well, like just like be like oh like you can give them guidance. Like I gave my guidance counsellor just like a number of points that I wanted them to mention in my teacher's reference, because like for here you have to do them not even just for Oxbridge but for like every course that you apply for. So teachers in the UK are a lot more used to dealing with that. So there probably is a number of resources online as well that like you can signpost them to
school reference.
I just go on Cambridge the Insider, but you can like point them to that, because I think as well like it is hard, like you're like putting an effort into something and then like the teacher's reference, like they haven't put the same thought and effort into it that you have at this point, so that can be yeah, so just kind of get them on that at the beginning of 6th year. So
Yeah. So I'm right in thinking, so you have your last year of high school, secondary school, and to apply for Oxbridge, you have to submit your application by October, and then probably had thought a lot about it well before October, probably from the March before, let's say.
Yeah.
Then the year progresses, you might have done the interviews, then people are told if they get an offer in January, and then around that time onwards, people would have submitted what courses they want to study in Ireland. Then you can kind of change what options you've put in, and then in August you get your results, and then you get an offer from university in Ireland, and then you'll be studying there. The one thing that I'm struggling to understand is when you're applying for universities in the UK, if you don't have your results, what do you have, like, predicted grades that you're applying with?
Yeah, so you still need to have predicted grades.
Okay.
It's you just like I think I just went to my guidance counsellor and she just went to my teachers, collected it all and then just put it on.
Okay.
Like I don't know, they have a system that they do it, but they have a system that they do that as well. So we don't get. I think, do you guys get formal predicted grades? Because
you do. One of your teachers. I think your teachers for each A level or each subject will give a predicted grade. I don't know what you mean by formal. I don't know how.
Yeah. So like, I think it just works in the same way then. But they're like, again, they're just not used to it. So I think mine were just drawn from my summer and Christmas exams in the 5th year before. So that actually is another thing as well. Like, I think there's a bit of a tendency as well to just kind of mess around in the year before because it's like, oh, it's only 5th year. Like it doesn't, like, because essentially it doesn't mean anything. Like the only thing that matters for the CAO is like what you get in the final one. So, but like your exam results in 5th year, like, will impact your chances of getting in a bit as well. Like you could pick yourself up, and if you have extenuating circumstances as well for any of those exams, like that can come in as a factor as well. But like that, like it does, like applying to Oxbridge does require you to start thinking about like that application a lot earlier than the Irish system usually does. Which is probably like one of the bigger differences as well. Yeah.
So did you apply during your 6th year, your last year of school, or did you apply whilst you're studying at Trinity College Dublin?
I applied in the summer in between. So I decided So I decided I wanted to apply, I think, in the July, and I had my application in middle to beginning of September, which is a very, very quick turnaround, and like it's a very small, like I say this to my friends here, I'm like, oh, I only like started like thinking about applying in July, and that can be a bit quite jarring for some people because they tend to start working on it a lot earlier, and I would recommend that generally, because especially if you want like a bit more of a summer as well. But like I did know I wanted to do law, and I think I had that like that upper hand. Like I had thought about that for a while, and I knew that already. But yeah, usually if you're going straight from like in the usual path and not taking a gap year, you'd do it. Like you'd start thinking about it. Like I'd recommend March of 5th year, which I think is year 12 for you here. Yeah. So March of 5th year, and then aim to get the application in like end of September time. October if you're really pushing it. So yeah, like I had a very, very quick turnaround, and it's possible to do that, but it's a lot more difficult to do that when you're also balancing studying for exams as well. Like I had a benefit of I had a complete clean slate. I had nothing else to do. So but
So I guess once you got your offer, that was the place because you'd done your exams.
Yeah. Whereas like some of my friends are in the UK, you get an offer. If you get an offer to Oxbridge or anywhere else through UCAS, you'll get given like an offer conditions. So you need to meet certain grades. So that can be nice as well. The CAO, it's like, I don't know what I need to get. Like I have a ballpark, but like there's no guarantee, and like you can get your results, and like you're allowed to be happy about them for like a day, and then you're like, well, I don't know what this means for another week. Whereas it's such a bad system. Like you could get the absolute maximum that you could get the absolute maximum in points and still not get your course.
How does that work?
So if 30 people want the top course, this tends to go for like things like medicine or dentistry. So if there's 30 places on a course and like 50 people want them, and 40 of those people get the top course, they put it through a lottery. So they like basically click a button and it just gets randomly assigned. So you could miss out on your course by pure luck.
Okay.
It's a really weird system, whereas here you have your place. You just need to meet certain grade requirements. And from what I'm aware, like if I was to get an offer for law here, like coming straight from the Leaving Cert, it would have been lower than what I needed to get into Trinity College. So the points tend to be lower for courses here than back home. And it's also nice because you have a bit of a goal and something that you need for it as well. So like, and like some of them give like certain subject requirements. So like it tends to be for, that's another thing as well when picking your subjects. Like some of them tend to have subject requirements. Whereas back home it's not as big of a thing. You have to do a modern language back home
to like in like 5th and 6th year,
unless you have an exemption, and then some of the science courses require you to do a science subject, but other than that there's not really. But yeah, your choice of subjects can, like, it could be a thing as well. So that's the UCAS thing kind of like it forces you to think about things a lot earlier on than back home. But yeah, look into your subjects as well. But yeah, you get a nice little offer hopefully at the end of January for Cambridge, and then there's a bit of certainty, and there's a bit of, not certainty, you still have to meet the grades, but there is a bit of comfort in that. There's a good bit of comfort going into that, and it's a lot easier to work for something when you have a very specific goal in mind. And like as I said before, the top courses here tend to have lower grade requirements than the top courses back home as well. And you're not dealing with like any of the lottery and stuff like that as well. So if you're willing to think about it and get that application in, which I really recommend you do because I absolutely love it here, it will pay off. Like it will pay off in the long run.
And the entry requirement was higher at Trinity College Dublin than it was at Cambridge.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that we've done a podcast on about applying after you've got your A-levels or after your results in general. And there is also something to be said about the certainty of once you have your results, and the results are not predicted results. And then when you apply, and if you were to get an offer, that offer is going to be the place because you've got your results. So
yeah, you get an unconditional if you have the grade requirements already. And like another thing I will say, it's not a very big thing back home to take a gap year. It's a lot more of a thing here. So if you're thinking about going on a gap year, and like this is something that like you want to go to Cambridge, like I technically did a gap year. I did after my Leaving Cert, which would be a bit uncommon back home. Like still go for it. Like you're like I'm one of many gap year students in this college alone. So I don't feel like you're gonna be at a different stage or that you're gonna stand out in any way whatsoever, because like you're not going to, like, especially in Cambridge when like it's so competitive and some people don't get on the first time around that they apply. Like you're dealing with a lot of people who have taken gap year. So if that's something that you're thinking about doing, go for it as well.
Yeah, and it tends to be easier to apply during a gap year when you're not having to balance your A-level year 13 studies.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, nice. I guess, I imagine you're balancing that with your first year at university.
Yeah, a little bit. I had it all. I was very fortunate. I got it all done before I started, because I started end of September, middle to end of September, and I think I got it in. I think I got it in like Freshers Week there.
Yeah.
So but I had the most of it done. I was just revising, like still doing the drafts, my personal statement on the last ones, but yeah.
Nice. And is it a common thing for Irish students to apply and go to universities in the UK?
I think it's becoming a bit more frequent. Particularly we're seeing, because you have to go through UCAS to go to the universities in the north. So there tends to be a lot more people going up to the north because the points requirements tend to be lower, especially for like really competitive subjects like physiotherapy and dentistry and things. So you see that a bit. I think particularly in my school, there's a good few people going through UCAS for there was a good few people going through UCAS. Not a lot of people applied to Oxford though.
Yeah.
I think there's just kind of there's a lot of like misconceptions around it because like certainly whenever I said to people, like people think it's like really expensive in comparison to home, and because I think they have this idea in their mind that it's like similar to the US fees, where it's like really high up because it's just and there's also I think an understanding that like like Irish people don't really go there, which is true to an extent. Like there is a lot less of us than there should be, I think, particularly from the south. But like there is a lot of us here, and like we tend to do quite well because we do so many subjects for the Leaving Cert as well. We're kind of used to juggling all that. And then like on the finances side, like it's not as expensive as like you think it would be in any way whatsoever. So we can get like the fees are a bit more expensive here, but you get a lot more help with that than you do back home. So you can get a loan from Student Finance England, and it's quite easy to apply for, and it's quite low in interest. I don't even know if there even is interest on it fully, but
there will be
there is interest, but it's quite low, and like you can get that for like the 3 years that you're here, and it just gets paid out to the college. And then as well, like Cambridge, like there is a lot of money in Cambridge that they're like that they have there to help students. So like there's grants within colleges, the university, there's the Cambridge bursary as well, and like Irish students are all eligible for that. And so like, and you can even just get grants for like other things. So like you can get a travel grant in Trinity Hall to like for once in your degree, to go do something related to your subject, like anywhere in the world really. And so you'll get money towards that. And then meals are subsidised as well. So it's like really affordable. And then my accommodation here is actually, because I was gonna live out in Dublin, and my accommodation here is cheaper than my accommodation like back home. And I think it's similar to like what my friends are paying in Galway and Cork as well. Like it's lower than that. So accommodation can be cheaper as well here as well, which is a big plus. And you also like, depending on what college you're in, I don't know if it's the same for all of them, but like in Trinity Hall, we've guaranteed accommodation for the 3 years. So if you don't want to live out, it saves you so much effort and stress in trying to find somewhere to live for the next year, which is great as well. So like there is a lot of support within Cambridge itself, and like there is a really nice Irish community here as well. I don't think there's enough of us, and I'd love to just fill the university with Irish people, but like it is a place for Irish people. Like I think, like and like we are like we do well here as well. Like we're not in any way behind or like not like catching up with like the people around us. Like we do well, and like you do fit in and you find your people and things as well. So yeah.
I mean, from what I can see, if you do really well in the Leaving Cert, there's no reason to not make an application, especially to Oxbridge, where they provide there's such a variety and so much financial support, because I guess the biggest barrier would be the finances. But if there is a solution to the finances, then it's a very viable question of which one to do, which I kind of feel silly saying this to you because that's exactly what you've gone through, and prime example of
but I think Cambridge as well, like there always is a viable solution really here with the finances. Like there's a lot of resources there, and there's a lot of people, like there's like a whole army of people here who are there to help you. So yeah, like I'm jumping like straight to the extreme. Like you're not gonna automatically struggle financially once you walk through the doors of Cambridge, but it's like if that is something that you think will hold you back a bit, like there is that safety net there for you.
No, there definitely is. The ethos in Cambridge and in Oxford is that finances shouldn't be a barrier for a student to study here, and as you said, that the Cambridge bursary is eligible for Irish students, and in Trinity Hall we have I think it's called the Ben bursary, that is like a hardship fund that students can apply for. And I think my ethos is, or like what I'd advise students and applicants is, as long as you consistently and clearly communicate with the college your situation, then they'll be able to help find a solution, and there tend to be more solutions out there than you kind of realize. And we have a website there's a website with a long list of funding opportunities for Irish students, and we can put a link to that in the caption. But I think it's as you say, it's definitely not something to write off immediately, thinking that, oh, well, that's just going to be way too expensive, there's no point in even looking into it. I don't think that's true at all. With the loan you get, am I right in thinking that you receive a loan from Student Finance England if you're an Irish student for the tuition fees but not the living costs?
Yeah, so there is a maintenance loan that are eligible for UK students, but we don't get that. We only get the tuition fees, which is probably the brunt of your expenses anyway. And it's a really like big thing to take off, and you don't start paying that back until you start earning over a certain amount, which is like way better than any loan like you'll get from the credit union, where you have to start like paying that back quite soon. So, and like if you never earn over, I don't know the exact number, but if you never earn over that amount, you never have to, like you can basically like not pay it essentially. So yeah, that's a really good system as well, and I think that's better than like, because like I probably would have just gotten the loan from the bank, and it's definitely a better system than what we have at home as well in terms of financing as well. So
you were saying before about how the accommodation is cheaper here, and because I think for a lot of people, when they hear that you don't get any loans for your living costs, I guess the immediate question is, well, how expensive are the living costs? And I think a lot of people don't realise that for most universities, you might get a year-long accommodation, but in Cambridge, that's not the case. And I was wondering if you can shed on what the living costs are like for Cambridge and the accommodation, etc.
Yeah, so in Cambridge, you only pay for the room as long as you're in it, which is good because we only do 8-week terms, and then you're gone for quite a while as well. So you only pay for as long as you're in it. I don't know the exact amount that my rent is, but I'm.
It's like half the year.
Yeah, you're essentially like which is really good. Like, and very different from like my friends at home who'd be paying for a lease for like the whole year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Even when they're not in it, and then as well, disadvantage of that is that you have to move out when you're off term time. But like, you have lockable storage in your rooms, and like in Trinity Hall, we have like international storage space. So if you don't live in England, you can put storage in, and it's like 2 large boxes, which to me didn't sound like a lot when I was like, oh no, what are we gonna do? But it actually, like, it's loads of space, and it's loads of room, which is really good, because like that was a big thing for me initially, but no, it's fine. Just don't be stupid with the amount of stuff that you bring. Apart from that, like, because I eat most of my meals, like hall meals are like really quite cheap. You're only paying around like £3 for a meal. Like on average you can have less and it can be more, but and which is like really cheap, and you don't have to like my groceries that I buy in a week are just like snacks, and they're like I think I'm spending about £10 on groceries a week, which is like everything adds up to become really manageable and like quite affordable, like particularly in like comparison to like what you're paying back home as well. So I don't have exact figures of it, but it's not like I'm not sitting in, I wouldn't sit in this seat and say it's manageable if I didn't think it was manageable. Like it's not extortionate, and it's like it is genuinely less than like what I would be paying if I was still in Dublin right now. Yeah,
that's remarkable. And like a £3 meal sounds quite I don't know, minimalist. How would you describe the food at Trinity Hall?
The food at Trinity Hall is really good. I say to other people, what college are you in? I'm like, I'm Trinity Hall. They're like, oh, you guys have really good food. I heard you like we get really good food, and like £3 is substantial. Like it's like you get like lunch and dinner this term, and it's a full meal at each time. Like you've got like there's 2 vegetarian options and 2 meat options. And then on Monday we've all veggie options, and then like there's a range of like sides as well. So there's always going to be something on the menu that you're going to like, and like there is a range of options, and like if you've dietary requirements as well, like they're very accommodating for that. Like I think we're quite lucky. We get good, like for a place that doesn't have any cooking facilities. We're quite lucky that the food that like they do provide for us is good. So it is a substantial meal for like the price, and it's like I'm not it's kind of good because I'm not like living off of just like 2 slices of bread for lunch and then like a baked potato and baked beans for dinner. So like you get a lot for what you pay, which is quite small to begin with, really. So
nice. And should add as a caveat that at least in Trinity Hall, the accommodation in college, there aren't kitchens, as far as I know. I'm almost certain that there aren't, but in the off-site accommodation, there are kitchens. So then there will be cooking facilities when you're living off-site, and some of the off-site accommodation is still very essential, like the wing garden site.
If cooking facilities is something that you really want in first year, you do have the option of living in wing as well. So yeah,
exactly. Another thing that people watching that might be wanting to know is that what the Irish community is like at Cambridge. I was wondering how you found it so far.
Yeah, so I thought I'd like be one of like 3 people, but no, there is a really active Irish community. So we have an Irish society, and like I was talking to my freshers, and they have like a load of people involved in Irish soc, and so they do regular events at terms. So we'll do formal swaps where we'll go to other colleges together and just have like a meal, and like the like various nights out and other events. So, like for St. Bridget's Day there was like a cross making workshop and things like that, and then especially like at the time of filming this, we're coming up to St. Patrick's Day, so there's a number of events going on for that as well, which is really nice. And then there was a trad fest on, I think 2 weeks ago. I didn't go to any of them, but that's when like the pubs of Cambridge have like Irish traditional music going on in it as well, which is really nice. Other than that, there's an Irish dancing society as well, and there's also a GAA. There's a Cambridge GAA as well, which is so like we've like national sports in Ireland, and so one of them is like Gaelic football, and so there's like trainings twice a week for them, and they like go to play against other universities as well. Like I haven't gone to any of the trainings myself, but that seems to be like a couple of my friends are in it, and like they say it's just it is a really nice and tight knit community. It is just a space as well. Like if you are homesick and things, like there's other people who are there and know around that like the same things as you as well. So it's a nice little outlet to have. And it's a really nice and active community as well. So like don't feel like you're gonna come here and be like, oh my god, I'm gonna be the only Irish person here, because like you definitely aren't. There's a lot of people. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's really cool. And there's a lot of societies where like with the Irish society, there's a lot of societies for each like kind of region and nation that students can find like people who've come from a similar background.
Yeah.
Want to also ask, how I imagine there aren't many British people in Ireland. How has it been like being surrounded by a much larger proportion of Brits? And I imagine for a lot of Irish people watching this, that would probably be a large barrier of why they might not want to study in the UK. I was trying to find a political. I feel like I understand what I'm saying.
No, no, I know what you mean. You just kind of get used to it. No, it was a bit, and like I spoke to someone from the Irish Times recently about studying in Oxbridge, and they were really shocked that they asked me like, did you ever get any racism when you're here? And I was like, no. like it's just like, I feel like there is like a certain sense of like stereotypes that have like endured from the Troubles, where it's like, you're Irish, like that kind of thing. But like I've never once, never ever here felt like in any way like different or treated differently just because I'm Irish. Yeah. If anything, it was a way to like it was a conversation starter in freshers. Like that was probably the most like different that I was. British people are really friendly. I wouldn't no, I don't think anyone should perceive it as a barrier in any way. And like there was a little bit of that. Like I was a bit nervous of like, oh, people are gonna think like because I'm Irish that like it's a bit weird. But like I would get rid of that thought like coming into it. Like, and like if anyone does treat you differently because you're Irish, like they're like maybe one or two of the people in the university, and that says a lot about them, like rather than it does about you. And like there is a lot of people that you can contact like within colleges and within the university if you ever feel in any way disadvantaged or being treated in a wrong way because of the fact that you're Irish. So yeah, no, but like British people are really friendly. It is quite a similar culture to back home. I would say. Like it's kind of gotten to this like sometimes I stop and think about it. I'm like, I just don't even like register the fact that like our accents are different or anything. Like yeah, no, like I wouldn't like even really like consider that if I was applying or like coming in, and even if I was like an offer holder and nervous about coming, like no, like it's not a thing at all. Yeah.
So would I be right in thinking that applying and you might think it's gonna be a thing, but actual experiences day to day talking to other students, it doesn't end up being a thing at all.
Yeah, and I think especially if you've like if you're coming over here and like it feels so far away and it feels like, oh, it's a different country and it's like different, but it's not a thing really at all. Yeah,
nice, that's really cool. And one last thing I wanted to also talk about was this is gonna be like seem like a massive tangent, but it was one thing you were talking about before with in back in school with the modern languages. Was the idea to encourage students to learn modern Irish?
Yeah, so we have to learn Irish as well.
Right, okay.
So the way the Irish system works, you have to do English, Irish, and maths. And then most universities require you to do a modern foreign language. But like we'll have studied
on top of the Irish.
On top of the Irish, yeah. So we'll have studied Irish since we like walk into primary school first day.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah. So you can continue that as well here.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Which is why the reason I raise it is that you can study modern Irish at Cambridge.
You can keep it up, and like there is like weekly free classes to the Irish government. There's a fund through the Irish government that's funding classes here. And so it's like you can pick it up from basic or beginners, intermediate and advanced. Yeah. So it's like on a different like whatever level of Irish, like even like I'm not in it now, but I'm thinking of picking it back up again next year. And like they have things like Kirk Cora, where like you just speak in Irish, like as a group. And then I think there's a couple of events, like there is Irish speaking events within Cambridge, like outside of the classes as well. But yeah, the classes are free. It tends to just really be Irish people in it as well. Nice. And like there's information like online as well. I think it's on the ASNAC page. I think because it's like run because ASNAC do Old Irish, so I think they've made provisions for Modern Irish as well.
And ASNAC is the Anglo-Saxon, Norse and Celtic
studies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they do Irish under I think the Celtic strand of that, I would imagine. But yeah, no, like you can keep it up. Like don't feel like, oh, I'm leaving and I'm never going to use this again, because like you can keep the language up here, which is nice.
And through the ASNAC department, there might be some room for someone kind of taking their study of Irish in a more academic setting. Where you definitely can do that if you do study ASNAC, but there might be opportunities even if you're not studying ASNAC. Well, thank you, Holly, for a really interesting podcast on applying to Cambridge from Ireland. I think I'm the complete believer that more Irish students should consider it for sure, and there are, as you said, a lot of workarounds and solutions to the living costs and the finances, and as you said, like Cambridge isn't being a student in Cambridge isn't too expensive. Living in the city, not as a student, might be different, but that's not what applicants will have to worry about. And thanks to the viewers for watching. If you want any podcasts you want us to do any podcasts we haven't done already, put them in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time. Nice. Thank you.
Problem.
How was that?
Oh, not bad.